Hello everybody, welcome back again to the second part series of this travel nursing edition. We're going to be talking about the tips on finding your first travel assignment or your first travel contract, or however you choose to put it. So basically the tips I give or the tips I share here are going to be based solely on my personal experience and information I've gotten from nurses and friends who are in the same path as me. So without further ado, let's get into this video. I'll just put it out there. If you have questions, please leave your questions in the comment section, because I do plan on making a video where I'm going to compile all the questions around travel nursing and just have one video so that people can always reference. The first thing on my list is ask yourself, why do I want to travel nurse? Do I want to travel nurse for the money? Do I want to change of environment? Do I want to gain something new? Do I want to learn a new skill? Am I a passionate person? Do I want to work with different population? What exactly is it? Do I want to go on a vacation, but at the same time I want to make money while being on vacation? So that's gonna be your motivating factor if you find your why, because you can't just wake up in the morning and be like, well, I want to do this. You need to have a motivating factor, because sometimes it can be, lonely, isolating, stressful, changing environment, having to go to places all the time and learn new things. So that's where it comes down to you finding a factor, like that factor that will keep you motivated. Is it the money? Is it the change of environment? Is it seeing new people? Is it just living in an environment where you feel like you're undervalued and whatnot? So that is going to be up to the individual to decide. I'll just put it out there. Some people might want to travel nurse at early points in their career, like let's say after they've gotten a first year experience or a second year. And then there's going to be people or some senior nurses who might tell you, oh, it's not really a good thing for you to do, or some management people or people who feel like they're higher than you, oh, that's not really what you should be doing in your career and whatnot. At the end of the day, you have to do you. You have to do what works for you. You have to do what is going to be best for you, because you have to have your own best interest at heart when you do things like this or when you take decisions like this. Because at the end of the day, I for one believe that nursing is nursing, and wherever you go, you gain valuable experience, be it soft skills, be it learning things that you've not learned before. You can even learn more, like how to communicate better, how to boost your confidence, how to adapt in different environments. You pick up something regardless of where you go. Is it going to be challenging? Yes, of course it's going to be challenging, because it's a new environment. But at the end of the day, you have to measure the output or the gain from what you've decided to put your time and effort into. Is it going to give you value? Is it something that you're going to grow with or grow from? You just have to ask yourself all those questions. At the end of the day, it's gonna be within you or inside of you to decide if that is the best path for you, regardless of what people have to say. Just block all that noise and do what you think will be best for you. Nursing is a good path, it's a good career. There is no one size fits all. You can do a lot of things. You can choose to stay at the bedside, you can choose to travel, to be in management positions, to explore different areas of nursing and healthcare. Do not pay for any license. So you've been accepted into an agency, and then you express interest that you want to travel to this province, you want to travel to that province. And of course, yes, you're required to get a license if you're traveling outside of your home province, because every province practices with their own regulatory body's license. And one thing I would say that you should not pay for any license if you've not secured a contract and signed a contract for that hospital or for that province you want to go to, because there is no need for you to waste hundreds of dollars on getting a license that you're not even sure, or you've not even got an assignment on where you're gonna go. It's not a good use of money, and it's not a good way to start out your travel contract or to start out your travel nursing journey, because sometimes that might not go well, in the sense that you might start to feel a little low, a little depressed, that, oh my goodness, I spent so much money and I didn't get what I wanted. That feeling of unsettlement, you don't want that to happen to you. So be sure that you get a contract, you sign a contract, you've been given a go ahead to get that license. And again, it's nice that some agencies will reimburse that license, but you always have to check with your own company or with your own agency what their policies are, because at the end of the day, these people are a travel nursing company. different organizations, they have different things that work for them. What works for company A will not be the same for company B, and what's going to be applicable to company B is not going to be the same applicable situation for company A. So it's your own responsibility to do that research and ask a lot of questions so that you don't feel left out or you don't feel unheard or unanswered in the path that you've chosen for yourself. If you feel like you deserve what you're asking for, make sure you stick to that, okay? And make sure you do a lot of shopping around, like shop around with different agencies, different recruiters and whatnot, different hospitals, different province. Again, different companies will offer different things, different incentives, different rates and whatnot. It's you as the individual who needs to take the extra time, the extra effort to ask a lot of questions. Maybe call companies that, you know, your spare time. Their number is on Google. It's not a secret or anything. You just have to take the time out of your schedule to make those arrangements and see what is going to work best for you. But then the most important thing is never sell yourself short and never feel like you have to settle for something less than you deserve, or be it in terms of pay, be it in terms of hospital, be it in terms of contract terms and whatnot. Because at the end of the day, you want to choose something where you're going to be happy in and that you're going to be happy with, because there's no need putting yourself in a situation whereby you're just going to feel like, oh my goodness, I regret taking this contract and whatnot. But again, you're never going to know until you try. And sometimes it can be tricky in the sense that, you know, if you're just starting out, you yourself have to be reasonable in the sense that you're not going to be expecting yourself, who is maybe like a 1 year or 2 year, you know, experience in nursing, trying to be on the same page as someone who has paid their dues in the industry for like 20 years, 30 years. It doesn't work like that. You have to start from somewhere before you get up here. That is just how it works in life in general. So sometimes you also have to be reasonable in your ask as well, and in terms of what you're accepting and what you're willing to let go and whatnot. At the end of the day, whatever path you choose, just make sure you're able to sleep at night with the decision you've made. Join an agency on Facebook, on social media. There's a lot of travel nursing agency, a lot of travel nursing groups. So besides the agency, there are travel nursing groups on Facebook, tons of them. People just wake up in the morning and start a group, and a lot of them are just there for support, like to support nurses, support new grads. Like the way you have Facebook groups for like new grads, Facebook group for a particular university, Facebook group for a particular institution. These are all support mechanisms so that you don't feel isolated or feel like you're left alone. In those groups, you can go there, ask questions, look for people who are going to the same hospital or the same city, the same province, the same state as you. You can find them, you can make connections in that regard. You can also find people who say good things about whatever agency they are with. From there, you can also decide to look at multiple agencies. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Reach out to these agencies, see what they offer, see if their values and what they have to offer is in line with what you're able to accept and what feels right for you. At the end of the day, it's gonna be your individual responsibility. But I do highly recommend those Facebook groups, as they're very, very huge support in that regard. You need to know and understand that there's different genre of nursing, a lot of it, different specialty areas, different, name it, is limitless. Some I don't even know. I just know places like maybe critical care, acute care, labor and delivery, post-recovery, you know, surgical, surgery, OR, stuff like that. By the end of the day, know that, okay, well, I did critical care back home, or maybe I specialized in a section of critical care. Who says, or what policy is there to say that I cannot decide to go travel nurse in medicine? Or what policy is there to say that I cannot go travel nurse in a different area of critical care that's different from the critical care environment that I've worked in? Again, it's all about you as an individual, what you can do, and also the hospital. Some hospitals have no problem with giving you about 4 or 5 days of orientation. It all depends on where you're going. Some hospital might wholly accept you if you're gonna do a very long-term contract, like maybe like 6 months, 1 month. Some hospitals might take you and be like, you know, we're gonna give you good enough training that you'll be solid for the year that you're going to spend with us. And when it comes to picking long contracts, I would say what I always recommend is, if you're just starting out in travel nursing, you want to make sure that you're not taking a contract that's too long. What is too long is relative, in the sense that for me, 3 months might be short. For someone else, 3 months might be oh my god, that's the end of the world kind of thing. But the point I'm trying to make is you don't want to take too long a contract, even if you choose that, okay, I'm going to start with a minimum, just to see how that goes, just to see how you fit into the environment, just to see if that's your thing, if that's something that you continue to do. So that depends on the individual. If you say their minimum is 4 weeks, you want to make sure you try that 4 weeks out first. If you love it, you can choose to extend, and you can choose to do more longer contracts. But the point I'm trying to make is that you don't want to take too long a contract and you find out that, oh no, I don't like this place, I don't like this environment for whatever reason, and then you have to cut your contract short. It's going to look not good on you. It's going to look bad on the individual, in the sense that if they are looking for people in the future, they are not going to take someone who is always cutting their contract short. They're also always going to look for that person who is willing to stay, extend, show up kind of thing. Not just you take a 12-week contract and be like, no, 4 weeks, I'm done, I can't do this anymore. No, that's not how it works. If you know you want to do 4 weeks, it's best to sign up for 4 weeks and finish your 4 weeks than to sign up for 12 weeks and then do a 4-week contract and be like, for whatever reason, you can't do it anymore. But then again, there are some cases that may require you to have to cut that contract short, or the hospital will have to cut your contract short. It's very, very extreme reasons and scenarios. But you cannot just say that you're going to cut your contract short for reasons that are not very, heavy weighted. So you have to weigh that option and make your decision from there. Have more than one agency. That is it for me. I believe in having more than one employer if you're going to do this, because some agencies will work with a particular number of states or province because that's what they have at the time. No agency is expected to work with all states or all provinces. That's not how it works. They choose what or who they want to work with. And some agencies, you might like a particular province, but the agency you're currently with is not working with that province. So what do? You have to find another agency that works with that province. You cannot wait to say, oh well, when this agency starts working with this province, I will go. There's no way to know that. There's no way to determine that. But in summary, the point is that you want to have more than one, not just for security, for times where you might want to go to a particular province, but the agency you're currently with doesn't have that. It just gives you flexible options. It just makes your schedule flexible. It gives you lots of choices as to where you can go, the beautiful environment you can embrace, the people you could meet along the way. It is very exciting in that regard. So that is my take on that. And I also want to let you know that you want to have a really good relationship with your agency, especially with your recruiter. Your recruiter is like your mouthpiece. There is the agency, and then there is the recruiter in that agency. So your recruiter is your direct contact. That is like the person, taking good care of you to make sure that you're getting the contracts you deserve. They do everything for you. Everything that involves agency, hospital, agency, health authority relationship is your recruiter. They're going to be your first point of contact in every situation that you face. And you also need to learn to trust them, because you have to believe that they are going to walk right by you, do the right thing for you, have your best interest at heart, and trust each other along the way. And you don't want to break that over little things. Just make sure that you trust your recruiter, because that's the only way that relationship is going to work. And again, is everybody gonna be nice? No. Are there some recruiters who are not fit to be recruiters? Of course there are. But in saying that, you just have to find that balance. And if you feel like it's not working between you two, you can always ask for a change. You can talk it out with your recruiter and whatnot. But in summary, I'm just trying to say you want to have a good relationship with your recruiter. Simple. Finally, leave your comments and your questions in the comment section. I'm really looking forward to a Q&A session on this whole travel nursing topic. A lot of people have realized that after the pandemic, there's more they can do with their nursing license, which is good, which is nice. There is nothing wrong with that. Nursing is rewarding, it's fulfilling, it's exciting, lots of adventures, lots of humbling moments, thrilling moments, and whatnot. At the end of the day, you have to also consider yourself, know what you want to get out of your career, how much time you want to spend in one place versus going out of your comfort zone, and exploring and getting a lot out of this career that you've chosen in general. At the end of the day, people will need medicine. And every little effort, every little thing that you do, or every big thing, or every single thing you do, regardless of wherever in the world you're in, whether you choose to do global nursing, where you choose to travel out of country and whatnot, you're still making a difference in the world at the end of the day, in the community, in your city, in your state, nationally, globally, internationally, intercontinental. Okay, so do not feel like you need to be constrained to one environment, one employer. No, at the end of the day, everything that you do, regardless of where you are, counts and makes the profession of nursing rewarding in the long term. So that brings me to the end of today's video. If you want to see more videos on this whole travel nursing thing, just let me know in the comment section and I will take those into consideration. Until next time, talk later.